Hey guys, welcome back to the CCC. Today we are bringing our kitchen back to our bar again with grapefruits. We are going to make a grapefruit vodka sour, which on its own doesn't sound super interesting, but oddly, I have found it's actually really good. This is one of the drinks that, so throughout all the COVID stuff, I've been teaching like Zoom classes and happy hours. And this is one of these recipes that I have done over and over and over again with people, and people love every single time. It's always a crowd pleaser, this one.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the definition of an approachable cocktail.
Yes, agree.
But it's also, what's nice about it, it's approachable while still having egg white, which some people don't think they're going to like until they drink it.
And that is why I always add it in when we're doing these Zoom happy hours, because I always mix in a variety of them. We do like 3 different cocktails in an hour. And I always want to have a variety of different kinds of cocktails. And I think it's always fun to teach people about egg white cocktails because egg white cocktails scare people. So in the context of a class or happy hour, it's fun to do that.
Because egg whites make every cocktail
Yummier?
close enough, sure. Tastes better, whatever. Yeah. Right?
Yeah,
It's like,
I think people are always pleasantly surprised. They're like, oh no, we're not going to egg white. And I'm like, okay, if you really have like an allergy or a massive aversion to an egg white, make it without it, and it's still really good, but it's better with it.
well, and I have my Rysse, I have all my buzzwords. I have my little, my checklist here.
So
What else does egg white add to the cocktail?
you want me to talk about the egg white giving a good mouthfeel?
And so with these Zoom classes you've been doing, I know early on you were doing some like for couples and like happy hours and whatnot. You know, have you gotten?
It's
like,
fun. I've done like, block parties. I've done college reunions, and I've done like corporate team building stuff. So, anything with a group of people, it's always fun.
It also makes, if you're doing team building, I know years ago when I worked corporate, we would do these team building exercises where there's like the trust game where you have to like fall back, right, and trust that that would be even funnier after 3 of these cocktails.
Speaking of trust, so I cut open my grapefruit today to make this grapefruit sour and found, lo and behold, I thought I was getting a ruby red. I didn't.
Yeah, that's not so red.
Now, if you can get your hands on a ruby red, it's far, far better. It makes for a prettier cocktail. It's sweeter. I'm going to have to adjust my recipe to make up for this. So if you are using a regular grapefruit, not a ruby red, I'm going to add a little bit more simple to mine, and I think you should.
I also wonder, are ruby reds regional? I'd be curious to ask some of our Chicago or maybe Northeast audience. Can you find ruby red everywhere? For some reason, I thought it was more of a Southern thing. I also wanted to point out, for those of you that do like to juice ahead of time, as I do, Rysse is not as big of a fan, but if you're going to juice, let's say you're making lots of drinks. I learned this today, whereas most limes or lemons, depending on the size, will make between ½ an ounce and 1 ounce of juice. This guy here made 8 ounces of grapefruit. So that's a lot of juice. This Deep Eddy. So not nearly as fresh and fun to make because it's already kind of basically a pre-batched cocktail here, but this is Deep Eddy. It's a Texas vodka with actual real grapefruit juice. So it's not just a flavor, but it actually has real Texas grapefruit juice in it. So,
but it does go to our point, which is these flavors are great. They're popular, crowd pleasing. They work well together.
Absolutely. In fact, that one right there, like their marketing promotion is just that right there, over ice, Topo Chico, and like a lime. And it's like a no-brainer, easy, by the pool, go ahead, and you're good to go.
Deep Eddy for all your lifestyle cocktail needs. We are still going to start with our egg because somebody has a tendency to F it up. And if I do, I would like to just toss my egg and not have to toss all my other ingredients. So I'm going to start with my egg white.
Just want to point out, since we started the CCC just about 5 years ago now, it feels like I think I'm 100% on my egg whites.
I'm not 100%, but I will say I'm getting better. Now that I've got the egg white in there, which you'll remember all of the yucky bacteria is all killed by the citrus and the alcohol. So let's get our alcohol in there. It's 2 ounces of vodka.
What are your thoughts on level of vodka for this guy?
This is a Tito's cocktail all the way.
Yeah, and obviously I see you have Tito's, as do I, but just in general, a drink like this with so much going on, yeah, I think we both agree you're not going to necessarily appreciate a premium. Certainly, if you want to try just for comparison, I don't think, in my experience, anytime you start mixing lots of juices or sugars or anything, any kind of soda, you sort of, I think at that point, sort of lose the.
Absolutely. This is functioning as an alcohol, but it's not adding any flavor to it. This vodka is not adding any flavor. I mean, in a vodka martini, I would say otherwise, but I'm about to add 1.5 ounces of grapefruit juice. If half of your recipe is something besides the vodka, your vodka doesn't need to be premium. 1.5 ounces of grapefruit juice. Again, if you can get your hands on the ruby red, do. Also, it's a prettier color. Did I say that? I'm really disappointed. This color is very wah-wah. It's like cloudy. And 1/4 ounce of lime. And ordinarily, I'd say 1/4 ounce of syrup. Because I screwed my grapefruit up, I'm gonna add 1/2 ounce of syrup. With your ruby red, do 1/4 ounce. Okay, with an egg white, we're gonna dry shake before we wet shake. So you have options. Jason's got his extra little springy thingy.
Yeah, oh, that's right. You've got your little immersion blender, right?
I'm gonna cheat. Add ice and shake again. We need to wet shake to properly chill and dilute this cocktail. So I've chosen to do my cocktail up in a coupe, and Jason's going to do his the more traditional way over rocks. Either one is fine. Sometimes it just depends on the style you feel like drinking that time. If you want more of like a lifestyle cocktail, if you're going to drink it out by the pool, you may want to do it your way.
Yeah, I would agree. I tend to like coupe glasses more like at night.
Right.
And like during the day, I don't know what it is.
The other thing about the lifestyle cocktail is egg white cocktails and heat don't go well together.
Or if you're pre-batching for a party, not so much in the egg white.
So a nice way to garnish an egg white cocktail, because if you garnish a cocktail with citrus, it's going to break down that egg white really quick. So you probably want to avoid doing that since you work really hard for all that real nice head, is with bitters, because Angostura or any sort of dark bitters, what are you going to use?
So I'm using this, which it's really good. I always forget about it, actually. It's a homemade rosemary bitters. Not homemade. I bought it on vacation a while back when we used to go on vacations, but it's rosemary. So on the nose, it's awesome. So I think rosemary, grapefruit, I think it really plays off each other, but it's also dark. So you'll see it on top.
Yeah, that's key if you're going to do it, if you're going to use it to garnish. But also I was just thinking of just a sprig of rosemary would also be a really nice garnish for this.
Yeah.
You can use one of these with a spray if your foam reaches all the way to the top. Mine is not reaching to the top, so
So let's go back to that template though. I know you mentioned on past videos, but if someone didn't see it last time, what do you recommend someone buys those little templates?
These are not for cocktails. They're for
like Hobby Lobby, Michael's kind of thing.
Probably Williams Sonoma, Amazon. Okay. So I'm just going to use my dropper. These medicine bottles are nothing fancy, and my droppers, and then I'll use a cocktail pick or really anything that's sharp to drag it in a circle. I'll give you guys this number so you can see. Very beautiful.
Even without the stencil.
Even without the stencil, yeah, I was just going to do that for funsicles, but it's like, cappuccino art. It's.
And it tastes the same either way.
It does. Okay, so use the weekend to practice and make a whole bunch of cocktails for us. Let us know what's good, and we'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys. Cheers, Rysse.
Cheers, Jason.